Hello and welcome to What's Carol Cooking episode 2. We had a bit of an audio malfunction and so I'm re-recording the introduction to this episode so that you know what is going on. I made some chili jam, so this is what this episode is all about, and this has been a tradition of mine for probably about the last 10 years where I have been making chili jam and giving them as gifts to family and friends, and the feedback has always been great. So I thought I'd share that episode, that recipe with you so that you too can perhaps make it and share it with your family and friends. So the first thing we have to do is we need to sterilize our jars, and I've got these little jars which are round. You can get any shape you like, you can be fancy, just get plain jars. I order them from a wholesaler because I do quite a few of these, so I get lots of them. So there are numerous ways that you can sterilize jars. The easiest is the simplest for me, and so what I do is I clean out the dishwasher and then I pop all the jars and the lids into the dishwasher and I put it on the hottest setting and let it go, and it normally goes for an hour and 10 minutes, and it is very hot and comes out and it's really clean, and I take the tongs and I use it, so try not to touch it at all because we need to make sure that it is sterilized. So this is a cayenne pepper which I'm going to cut the edges off and then cut it down the center, and you can see the pith in there which we need to remove so that it's really looks for aesthetic reasons, but also so that we don't get it in there, and that will be good. Now you can keep some of the seeds, that's totally fine. Then this is a bird's eye chili because I like it spicy, and we're going to do the same with that. We're going to cut it, and you can see this one's also got a little bit of pith, and I'm just going to cut that out and pop that in there. That one's totally fine. So that's the chili done. Then we've got the capsicum, so cutting that off. Actually I don't like to waste, so I'm gonna keep that, and I'm popping it directly into the food processor, and then cut out the pith inside. We don't want that, we'll make it bitter. Cut it in half into chunks, and as you see I'm going to cut the pith out of there as well. As I said, it's really important to follow this recipe. Cut it into chunks and pop it into the food processor, and we'll do the same with this one. Cut the pith out over there and cut that into chunks and into chunks. And the last bit will put out, more chunks, and we are good. So we have our capsicum and we have our chili all ready to go. Now we are ready to pop this into the food processor, and I'm going to give it a pulse. I can't fit everything in there, so we'll pulse that first. Add the rest in, and as I said, add in the seeds as well. Gives it a bit more of a kick. And pulse again. Check that. Got one stubborn one. All right. There we go. Look how beautiful and red that looks. So we've got the stove on low heat, and I'm going to pour in the apple cider vinegar. That was 600 ml. And then we're going to take our jam sugar and pour that in. That was 500 grams. And the second 500 grams. And we're not going to stir it, we're just going to leave it going until all the sugar dissolves, and then we'll come back and go to the next step. So it's been 10 minutes and the sugar is dissolved, and now I'm going to add this beautiful chili. Oh, it's so bright in color. That's probably why I like it for Christmas. Add all of that. And then we're going to bring this to the boil, and we're going to boil it for about 15 minutes, and we will see to make sure that it is all perfect. So it's been going for 30 minutes, and now I'm going to turn it off the stove, and I'm going to give it a bit of a stir. There we go. And now I'm going to show you a little trick. So as mentioned, a little trick is to put your plate into the freezer for a few minutes. It needs to be icy cold. And then to test that your jam is ready, pop it onto the plate. You can see how beautiful that looks. And I would say that the jam is ready based on that. It looks very jammy. Now that the jam is finished cooking on the stove, we're going to leave it on the stove for about an hour to cool down. It needs to cool down completely, and then we're going to do some bottling of the jam. Now that it has cooled down, I'm going to pop it into the sterilized jar. And you can see it's gooey and thick, which is the way I like it. I don't actually like it quite runny. So you just have to be careful so that we don't mess. Oh, it's such a golden, Christmassy color. I did have a little taste earlier, and it's not very spicy, but it does have a kick to it, and it is delicious. Okay, here we go. Pop that in, then you will seal it really tightly and keep it in a dark place until you either use it yourself, and if you use it, pop it in the fridge, or if you give it to a friend or family member, obviously on your label just put the date and tell them to put it in the fridge once they've opened it. And so you can see there that is looking really good, and you can have it on cheese and crackers. Some people put it on meat, I've heard. Some people put it on their ham for Christmas. So lots of different things that you can do with it, and just experiment and enjoy. So that batch has made 4 jars of chili jam, and so that's pretty good. So 4 friends will be getting those for Christmas as part of their Christmas gift. So thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.